And we believe Lord Herman's advice was, look, it would not be legal to join in the US in their conflict against Iran because there is not an imminent threat to an ally. And there is not an imminent threat to an ally because we do not share the US assessment that Iran is on the cusp or was on the cusp of getting nuclear weapons. We think they may have had intent, but we don't think they're quite as advanced than that. The fact that Keir Starmer landed in that position tells us that he is prepared to break with the US president in a way that, in the thousands, you wouldn't have seen Tony Blair do with George Bush. You wouldn't really have seen Gordon Brown do actually when he became prime minister, although he made slightly different noises when he was chancellor with George Bush. And, successive British prime ministers have hugged the Americans close. It tells us that Keir Starmer's kind of balance of view is to escalate the importance of international law. If you remember back in the early 2000s, Tony Blair was confronted by legal advice from his Attorney General over the Iraq War. That was a guy called Lord Goldsmith. Lord Goldsmith also raised concerns about the legality of potential military action. Tony Blair pressed ahead. So the legal advice from a chief legal advisor, in this case the Attorney General, is not binding on a Prime Minister, and Prime Ministers have done different things. And in the end, Keir Starmer showed himself to be fundamentally different to Tony Blair and those instincts. And